Hey guys, Letter Magic here, and guess what made it to, I guess you would say, the homepage of Magic the Gathering, Daily MTG. This is the hub for all news, articles, announcements, everything, and they felt the need to put, well, let's just read it. The title is Mark Rosewater on Representation. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of video, but you read the title. So it's a link to Blogatog, which is, oh yes, a Tumblr blog run by Mark Rosewater. So that kind of fits, because that's Tumblr. So it's actually like a question and answer blog, and he uses it to answer customer questions and usually try to cover for wizard stupidity while accidentally leaking things early. Ish. Some of it's like, who cares, but it wasn't supposed to be public knowledge. But yeah, anyway, I'm sure he uses it for other things too. I just don't make a habit of reading it. So whatever idiot at Wizards wrote this says, there are good reasons Magic's characters have become more diverse. Mark shares some of them in his question and answer blog, Blogatog. With no comma after the word blog. There's a reason I don't paint professionally, guys, and it's because I don't know how to paint. Okay, if it's your job to write things, to write words and paragraphs and sentences, and put them out to the customers, shouldn't you know how to write? And you're probably thinking, it's just a comma, it doesn't matter. It takes them from professional company who knows what they're doing down to 8th grader who hates English. Like that's the level of respect it drops to when I see nonstop spelling and grammatical errors in everything they write all the time, including the cards themselves. Remember the Monarch token? It had a typo on it. Remember the flavor text on that one blue creature? I think it was like a Sirikar or something. They had a typo on that. Okay, before I even jump over to it, Magic has become more diverse. That's what they're going with, or Magic's characters, they said. Let's just scroll through the Gatherer here. I ran a quick search. A Johnny is literally a cat. I mean, you could say lion, but, you know, whatever. Angrath is a minotaur. Arlen Cord is a werewolf. Well, and a female human. Ashiok is a genderless, I don't know, undead or so. I'm not really that sure what her background is. I'm just saying her because honestly it looks like a her. I mean, would a guy really wear that hat? Also, oh God, do I even want to say it? Do I even want to just go down this path again? I remember at least 2 extensive back and forth conversations on social media about whether or not that's Ashiok's head or a hat. Hey, did you guys hear that? It's the sound of the whole comment section going to crap. Okay, Chandra is literally a flaming lesbian, and if I recall, she's about, I don't know, 19, 20 years old or something, so we got that demographic going on. Arlen Cord looked like she was about 50. Some Planeswalkers are over 1,000, so they got the age bracket going. Dak Faden, I honestly have no idea who that is. Duretti is a goblin. Domri Raid, I don't know, he's just really short. He might be a little person. I don't know. Dovin Bond is one of those Smurf cat people from Avatar. I believe this game refers to them as Vidalkin. Elspeth was a female woman, so there you go. A lot of female women out there. I'm not going to edit that out. Then there's Garuk. He's everything wrong with toxic masculinity, of course. Gideon. He's an idiot because men are stupid and men with muscles are twice as stupid. So keep that stereotype going, Wizards. Huatli is a warrior poet, and I hate myself every time I say those words. Then you got Jace. He's, you know, the main character of Magic, basically, you know. And he had an interesting background. Remember, these are all different, like, colors of mana, different strategies, different lifestyles, everything. We got Karn is a damn robot. Kaya Ghost Assassin is a black woman. Kiora is a freaking merfolk. Koth the Hammer, I have no idea what he is. Liliana, she's just really old and a necromancer, and she's like emo scene, you know, probably listens to some like really chill death metal, not like super like, 180 beats per minute. Nahiri is a white woman, literally, and looks like that one character from, I want to say Babylon 5, but I don't think that's it. Oh, Farscape. That's what it was. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. She's a bitch. Other than that, she double-crossed the Gatewatch and tried to destroy an entire plane. So that's nice. Narset, I don't know crap about her, but she's like, I guess an Asian woman? Maybe? Nicol Bolas is a damn dragon. Nissa, pretty much cliche her, another freaking hipster lesbian. I'm not joking, by the way. They deleted it from the story after about a day due to complaints of them taking alternate lifestyles and shoving them in everybody's faces, which honestly people on both sides were kind of against that because it's just so pandering and so direct and insulting. Anyway, Ob Nixilis is a demon. Ral Zarek, I don't know crap about him, but he looks pretty cool. Sahili Rai, what, Indian? I don't know. They never really even said. Samut, North African? Egyptian? I don't know. But also a female. I mean, this is pretty damn diverse. Sarkon, he's some kind of like old school barbarian dude, like tribal, you know, whatever. Soren, I don't know. Like, even more emo dude. Kind of a male rewrite of Liliana, but like completely different personality. Tamio, she has like ears and crap. I don't even, wait, is that, do we have another Princess Leia situation here? Is it her ears? Is it her hair? Or is it a hat? Or is it earmuffs like Spaceballs? All right, Teferi's a black male. Tezzeret, I don't know. I always thought Jamaican. Then we got Tybalt, who, whether they want to admit it or not, is a tiefling from Dungeons & Dragons, it would appear. That's like sci-fi diverse, that's gender diverse, that's like skin color diverse, even though this is a plains that doesn't have like an Africa, an Ireland, an Australia, a South America. They have plains, okay? Apparently they have a Japan though, that is confirmed. It's like, why do you have to be like, we need more Indian women in our game that doesn't have India? That's forcing it, okay? And when you're forcing it, it's not about diversity, it's about you. It's about how Wizards likes to feel about themselves and how special they feel. So, oh, look how diverse we are. Oh my gosh, we're so great. Pat ourselves on the back for doing this because we went out of our way to pander to people that we think are lesser than us because they're always victims and blah, 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 and racism, white people are evil. I could make like a book about what's all screwed up with that, but let's just say at that point, do you really think they care, or is it about patting themselves on the back? Because my vote goes to they don't care. Okay, Seattle is like white and Asian people. That's it. Like almost nobody else lives there. It's so forced, it's so fake, and it's so not a problem. I mean, this is not, oh my gosh, I need to see people like me in every product or else. I mean, you page through a Sears catalog and you're like, nope, I didn't see enough black people. And then I'm not going to shop there. Sorry, I feel underrepresented. Instead of them, you know, hiring the most qualified models and like whoever showed up to the interview or whatever, to the casting call to be in the catalog, they hired that person instead of seeing everything through the lens of race. It's like, come on, who's that much of an SJW with their head that far up their own ass? Which, yes, I know those people exist. The vast majority of people, at least where I live, maybe this is just a regional thing, we don't give a crap what color you are. We just care like if you're an asshole or not. Now you'd have to be like purposely ignorant to not realize that certain groups tend to have certain cultures which tends to mean certain things. Okay, people are different. Not everybody's the same. People have different backgrounds than you. That's a thing that you're supposed to acknowledge. Oh, unless it's a negative thing, then it's racist. But if it's a positive thing, then it's not. Because that's how that works. You know, that's logic for you. So, with the fact in mind that the, quote, characters, at least the Planeswalkers, so the main characters, I guess, in the Wizard storyline for the last 20 years, or whenever Planeswalkers were invented, have been just completely across the board, just, like, whatever. Just the most diverse cast you can ever imagine. They are saying that they need to take it in a new direction. They say Magic's characters have become more diverse, meaning that they originally weren't, which is just provably false. But somebody called them out on their ridiculous logic, you know, taking their own statements and turning them against him because they make no damn sense outside of just a passing, yeah, that sounds nice. So get this, a user named Phyrexia Things asked Mark Rosewater, why is Wizards trying to fix something that isn't broken? I could just stop right there and be like, that's a damn good question. Nobody is saying I refuse to play Magic until I see more women on the cards, okay? And if somebody's saying that, they're not a real player. And it's, who cares? I don't need to see an Irish, German, Dutch background person with blonde hair and blue eyes, medium build and medium height on a card to play the damn game, okay? I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I care what the abilities on the Planeswalker are. I mean, I've said it before in a video. They could literally print a card called Hitler's Ghost, and if they make it Spell Queller, people are going to play it because it's a good card. That's what people care about, okay? Also, FYI, a bunch of people are already calling that card Hitler's Ghost. So anyway, why is Wizards trying to fix something that isn't broken? A game with a majority male player base, pro scene, and company staff. Oh, Oh, that's cold. And then in parentheses, at least from what I've seen and R&D credits. Welcome to Seattle, everyone. Makes sense to have the majority of cards be male. You always talk about how people apparently, I'm adding apparently myself because this is such bullshit, how people want to see themselves in the card. I assume they meant cards, plural. You are doing just that with a majority male representation. I mean, see, that's where I take issue. They aren't. It's not a majority males. And if it's like some big, strong, like I'm going to fight somebody, warrior, planeswalker, I'm going to fight this or stop this and whatever, that's a male personality. That's how the male brain is wired, okay? You're actually like insulting males by making it be a female. I mean, I've always found like Xena the Warrior Princess to be just comical. Yes, I know everybody thinks she's a lesbian, terrible example. She like literally wore army boots, so what? It's like, oh wow, look at that amazingly strong warrior woman. Yeah, because that's the typical female personality is violence and combat and wanting to train with weapons. I'm not saying it never happens. It just as a whole does not happen as much as males, okay? That's because, I don't know if you knew this or not, testosterone makes you act differently than estrogen, and the way that men and women's brains are wired is different. They think different, they act different, and so they settle into different roles in all of history and all cultures worldwide, okay? The whole warrior women thing, it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. That's just not what has happened. That's not how humankind or the human brain works. No, to single out like some Olympic athlete that's a female and be like, oh, that's weird, she's a female, that's unusual that she's doing that sport. No, do whatever the hell you want. Just be like, if you want to be a male ballerina, go for it. I'm sure that's not what they're called, but go for it. Like this whole gender stereotypes where men have to do this and women have to do whatever you want. Oh, is cooking too feminine? Now men can't cook, otherwise, oh, they're gay, they're being feminine. If you like cooking, do it. But you also can't just disconnect yourself from reality and history and human biology and just say, nope, everybody's exactly the same. And women and men are exactly the same, and they've only been pushed into these roles because men did it, and stereotype. No, biology did it. Men are more combative. Men like to win things. Men are aggressive. They like competitive sports and anything competitive. I'm not saying I've never met a competitive woman. I certainly have. It's just more men are that way because of biology, chemistry. Just, do you guys really think that that's not a thing over at Wizards? You're just like, nope, we got to put in more women because women can be warriors too. Yeah, they can be, but how about you reflect reality? Which is why everybody was saying, why the hell are there so many women pirates on these damn cards? Because pirates were not women. Everybody's like, here's a list on Wikipedia of female pirates. I had so many freaking SJW morons send me these links, and I'm like, yeah, there's like 7 of them. Great. The other 10,000 were men. You can't just handpick out one little example and be like, here you go, here's the norm, this supports my argument. No, look at statistics, numbers, reality. That's real shit. Scientific types have this wonderful policy where they are completely neutral. Maybe they have a theory, but that's it. It's just a theory. And then they test things or look at statistics. They take polls, they look at numbers, and then they use that to come up with a conclusion. Not, I have the conclusion already, I'm going to go looking around for things that support it. Because that's just wrong. You have to say, what is the best way to test if this is true or not? And then go do that, and then here's your result. Perhaps you've heard that women make, 83% as much money as men? While that is true on the surface, it's because they go after less valuable degrees. So it's their own fault. And then when they say for the same positions, it turns out those were just faked. Those studies were outright faked. They used numbers that were not true. There is no pay gap except for a self-induced one. It's as simple as that. Some of those studies didn't even take into account full-time versus part-time to see who was making more. Yeah, that makes sense. You go to hourly, it's the exact same rate for the same job. Oh, they also failed to take into account maternity leave being a loss of income, which is hilarious. So you don't say, women make less than men. I know that to be true. I haven't seen any facts yet, but I feel like it has to be true because men are evil. Men are everything wrong with the world. Okay, I'm going to go find some statistics and some numbers and put them together so that they support my theory. No, you say, I wonder if women make more than men, and then you go find out the truth. That's what you do. So what percentage of pirates were men? Probably 95% plus. It is not a historical fantasy to believe that, because that's what reality was. So nobody went to the merfolk and said, why are half the merfolk women? It's because half the merfolk are women. Why would anybody be like, why are so many of them females? The vampires, they were about half men, half women. Great, that's how societies work. That's how X and Y chromosomes and probability works. But what was it, 75% women? That's not only not true in the human population, that's not true in the pirate population. If they wanted to make it 50-50 and say it's like a cultural thing and they're like a nomadic people and then they're all pirates, then first of all, wouldn't there be children on the pirate ships? Because you'd have the whole of society as pirates. And secondly, okay, whatever, then they could just say that. They could be like, oh, it's a cultural thing. These people are professional pirates. Their culture is pirate. There isn't some England out there somewhere, and then the pirates are the offshoot. They actually never explain where the pirates came from, which is hilarious. Do they have a continent of their own? Who knows? Is it 75% women? I would think not, or they'd be dead by now, because that wouldn't work. So when people point out an anomaly, it's not because they're sexist and don't want to see women in their male-only card game. It's because it was factually inaccurate. It's historically inaccurate. It's faking things to whitewash history, basically, although were women really like, I want to be a pirate, but I can't because I'm a woman? I don't think so. I mean, you take this too far and you've got the BBC, okay? I just saw a post on, Meme Center, my number one source for intelligent information, where they said historical characters according to the BBC, and they were all supposed to be historically accurate-ish fiction, sort of. I mean, they had just everybody was black. People were there, they hadn't even discovered Africa. Some of them were black. That is insulting to black people, is what that's oh, we know we got to put you in our show, otherwise you'll complain. That's the level they're at over there, okay? Just reflect reality and stop being such SJW equality obsessed nut jobs, okay? I thought that bullshit ended in the 1980s where, like I've said, look at any advertisement on TV, you had to have a black guy, a dude in a wheelchair, an Asian woman, you had to have one of each or people would protest. Okay, SJWs were huge in the 1980s, and then everybody was just like, you know what, I'm sick of this crap. It's so fake, it's so pandering, it's so forced. Can we just get back to not giving a shit what color people are? And then society progressed. And I mean, just look at the number of interracial marriages now compared to then. It went up. So society as a whole has accepted it. It's becoming not a thing because people stopped making it a thing. Imagine that. So here we have Wizards of the Coast shining a light on it oh my God, women, women, women. We need to represent women. Women are always, they're so much weaker than men, and men scare them away from our game and blah, blah, blah. Which is, of course, sexist in two different directions. Oh, all men are evil. That's wonderful. And then all women are weak and they're victims and they can't speak up for themselves and they can't show up to a card tournament because we'll scare them all away and women are so skittish or whatever bullshit they're saying but not saying. You ready for this reply? Because I guarantee you're not. Okay, here we go. Oh, I don't want to read this out loud. I could just summarize it. I could just tell you it's just one giant load of horse shit in HTML form. Screw it. Here we go. Seeing a warped world is harmful for everyone, men included, because it leads to a warped world view. Okay, my worldview is that most warriors and combatants and anybody fighting another person is typically a male, historically. So that's not a warped worldview, it's a correct worldview. It's a non-revisionist, non-whitewashed worldview. So we're already off to the races here. Seeing less women or minorities in entertainment sends a message that they are less important in the real world and they play less of a role. Okay, we had people complaining that there were no black female soldiers in a World War II movie. Take a guess why there were no black female soldiers in the World War II movie. It's because it was historically accurate, and there were no black female soldiers in World War II. I'm sure there wasn't zero, but come on. Revisionist history and trying to lie to make up for things that aren't even things. I mean, it's ridiculous. So now he's not even talking about Wizards of the Coast. He's talking about entertainment. I'm sure he was talking about, Hollywood and this and that, whatever. How many white people were in Black Panther? Oh, is it okay as long as it's not white people because white people are always evil and all the other minorities are great? Because I'm getting real fucking sick of that narrative. Hey, American viewers, when I say the phrase black culture, what comes to your mind? Is that white people's fault too, or is it rappers and the owner of BET? Can't blame everything on another group. I mean, then you get Hitler. Oh, it's all the Jews' fault. Then where'd that go? That went great. Blaming one specific minority or majority, doesn't even matter, for everything wrong with society, yeah, that always goes well. I know people want to do it because they want a scapegoat for them not fixing their own damn problems, but it doesn't go well historically. So he goes on to lie. Having a majority of male players makes it even more important that we strive to make the game reflect the real world. Well then, why the hell was there like 75%, 80%, 90% female pirates? Why? I'd love to know. That does not reflect the real world. Okay, I'll answer for Wizards. Their answer to everything is, oh, but that's just Ixalan. It's not the real world. It's not real Japan. It's not real Egypt. I mean, it is, but every time somebody points out something like this, then it isn't. You know, it's their wonderful little two-faced lie that they put on every time. So he thinks it's going to reflect the real world because perceptions shape reality. Now, that's not wrong. That is proven psychologically, but his entire basis for this is 100% bullshit. You know what I would think if I didn't see an Indian woman on Kaladesh? I'd think that Indian women don't live there. Not that, oh, they do live there, but they refuse to put her on a card because they're less important. Also, do you guys know how women are actually treated in Indian society? Oh, do you want to reflect reality or do you want to reflect your own pretend reality, your own little fake reality? Make your mind up, Wizards. And that's not even getting to the huge value for everyone else seeing themselves in the game. Once again, prove it. Prove that you picked up new customers that are black because of Teferi. I suppose it's a little early for that one. So more women are playing the game now because of just insert the 6 or so female planeswalkers that they had. Well, they haven't, because there haven't been more women showing up. I'm yet to see that statistic. My female viewership on my YouTube channel isn't really up. Not within a margin of error. Yes, that last video celebrating it was completely a joke. He finally ends with, it's hard when you're used to seeing yourself always represented to get how much it means to people who don't frequently have that opportunity, but I hear it each and every time we do it, it means a lot. So no, warped entertainment is a problem and it does need fixing. So every set you could go back to Kamigawa and they're going to have like a token black person is what you're saying, because otherwise black people wouldn't be represented. So screw reality, screw culture, screw logic, science, history, background, anything else. You're just going to shoe in some random, oh, it's going to be a gay black guy because there you go. What really is hilarious is I didn't read the storyline, but everybody told me that Saheeli did absolutely nothing. She was just added because, oh, look, here's a token character. Oh, look, she's a woman and she's Indian or whatever. She didn't join the Gatewatch. None of that. Just, oh, look, here she is. Oh, how good for us. So, Mark Rosewater, take your head out of your ass and, come up for air out from Tumblr and Twitter and all these other liberal shitholes. And maybe people won't be patting you on the back about, because he said, I hear it each and every time we do it. So every time they put in a woman, a bunch of SJWs write in and they're like, oh my God, you included a woman. You guys are so great. And then all they hear is positive feedback. And then if they go somewhere real that's, not filtered by them or not run by SJWs or some liberal shithole company, then they get to hear reality, which is this is pandering, this is stupid, this is fake, it's forced, we can see right through it. Can you just cut the shit? And if somebody's going to be like a dual-wielding swordmaster, make them a man because men have more muscles. For fuck's sake, come join us back in the real world. And looking at all the people who liked or reblogged this, just their usernames, yeah, it would appear that one type of person is all he's getting his feedback from. So every time they do some bullshit like this and they pull some, oh, look, every female pirate's a female. That could have been phrased better. Tell them that it's so ridiculous. It's so forced. It's not what you want to see in the game. It's historically inaccurate and it's fucking ridiculous. They need to get more feedback from real people, but I mean, I'm sure they're just going to write everybody off as, oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a sexist, you're whatever, you're this, you're that, you're a cis white male. Of course you'd say that, and just listen to who they want to listen to. That's why they built their little liberal echo chamber. Now they only hear from themselves and they only smell their own farts. And, well, how'd that work out for Marvel? How's that doing? Is that doing great? Is that selling comics, or did they lose pretty much most of their customers? By the way, I heard a rumor that Marvel just pulled their heads out of their asses and they're like, oh my God, can we just cut this forced bullshit? Nobody's falling for it and SJWs don't read our comics anyway. They're just the ones bitching about it. Let's just ignore them and make whatever the hell we want. And if a character would be more appropriately male based on male tendencies, then we'll make him a male. Maybe since what, like 3% of the population is gay, maybe we won't have 25% of the people in our comics be gay, because that's bullshit. That's forced and fake and pandering. Oh, and by the way, gotta throw this in here. They're all about inclusion and minorities and people feeling represented, which is, debatably provable, and they haven't proved it. When was the last time you saw a Marvel character, except Professor X, or a Wizards of the Coast character, D&D character, anybody who was seriously handicapped or disabled in some way? I keep bringing that up because those people are a large part of my life, and my family, so maybe they should, include them instead of just ignoring them and pretending they don't exist in society, which is what people actually do. Nope, SJWs only give a shit about color and race. That's it. That's all they care about. Oh, when was the last time you heard an SJW complaining that religious representation wasn't there? They're all a bunch of atheist assholes. So as long as they're not discriminating against your gender or the color of your skin, then they're good. But they can discriminate against your religion, any kind of personal beliefs of any kind, or any ableist anything. They could just do that all day and nobody's gonna call them out on it, because that's SJW's flavor of the month right here. Boy, that is awfully selective for no logical reason. So it's all just one giant house of cards where when you start poking at it, it all falls apart, and Wizards is pretending like it's not all falling apart. Like, a couple people even on Reddit turned on them, and it was heavily moderated by their liberal nutjob moderators, but people still, they got the posts in, especially on Facebook, where it's a lot harder to moderate in real time. They said, here is proof that pirates weren't women. Pirates were not women. Factually, that is not correct. That's what we have a problem with. I don't care if there's women characters. I don't care about, I do care about the fact that you force them in despite reality. That really says a lot about your company, but it isn't true. That's what we have a problem with, is that females were not pirates. And they were just like, nope, you're all racist, you're all sexist. But hey, keep putting pressure on them and keep complaining to their parent company who actually gives a shit, which is Hasbro. Just tell them I am not buying their products until they fix this ridiculousness, or at the very least shut up about it. Until then, I guess we're just going to have to continue ignoring what color or gender the people on the cards are, which is what I've been doing the whole time, and just play the damn game, because it's a game. Do you guys think Wizards forgot it's a game? I think they're kind of inflating the importance, the relevance, the significance. Say whatever you want. I mean, it really seems like they're overstating and overestimating their self-importance and their significance. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go watch Blade Runner 2049 and count the number of every minority and gender in the entire movie so that I can write angry letters to Hollywood. Just kidding. I'm going to go microwave some chicken nuggets and eat them shirtless. That's what real people do with their time. I'll see you guys next video.